These cells, they have a little kidney bean shape. This is the one north of Searcy. You can certainly see it's got that bend to it.
It's tiny though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
very
not
small.
affecting much area. Doesn't have any lightning with it, but if there's rotation and it continues to grow up into the atmosphere, and we can see that rotation try to make its way down to the ground. So
You've seen this happen before with storms that may not be as impressive.
yeah, I've seen that happen when I was in Mississippi when National Weather Service issued a tornado warning on a very, very tiny cell. And I was like, there's no way. But sure enough, somebody sent in video and was like, yep, there it is.
Okay.
So
that's why we're back. Just we want to make sure that you have what you need there, and hopefully you're watching out as well. There's no warning on it, but this THV11 Plus gives us kind of a chance to let the audience know what's going on. And if the National Weather Service is keeping a close eye on it, you've got storm chasers keeping a close eye on it, and it's rotating, then you need to know.
And you think about what happened when the tornado hit Mayfield, Kentucky. That cell developed over central Arkansas. They developed right over Little Rock. Didn't look like much at first, but that changed in a hurry. So this cell is moving to the north. So with that said, North White County, places like Step Rock, Independence County, Pleasant Plains, you need to watch this cell very closely because it could continue to intensify, and we may have a tornado warning. If that's the case for Independence County, maybe in parts of western areas of Jackson County, Batesville also, watch this cell very closely. You've got one in advance of that, and then you might see a little break before the actual cell that has some rotation with it is coming in from northern areas of Searcy. But the storm chasers, they're out there, they're watching things very closely. We have an environment, it's volatile. The chance of supercells continues to go up.
And these cells are moving fast.
Yeah,
they're humming along at a pretty good clip. So
yeah, you put that into motion, you can see how fast this thing has developed. I mean, they're probably going 50, maybe as much as 60 miles per hour. They're racing their way off to the northeast for the most part. So I'm looking at radar right now, and there's other cells that we have to continue to watch. They've got that kidney bean shaped look to them. And any one of these cells could go more intense.
Northeast movement, more northerly than anything else. It moved over BB. Now it's to the north of Searcy. And probably within the next 5 to 10 minutes, it'll be over southern Independence County. There's also a cell there south of Batesville that does bear some monitoring, and some stronger storms trying to come together there out over Conway County near Faulkner County tonight. And even over the western tip, let's say western Pulaski County. So this is going to be a favored area here later today. There's tornado warnings in effect to our southwest over the Arklatex area. There are storms coming together quickly in southeast Oklahoma. And there's that tornado warned storm just to the west of DeQueen. So Polk County, keep a close eye there. That would be our viewing area. And that box is going to get close to Polk County, possibly Scott County.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go to Storm Track 11. This was what it looked like on our pinpoint rotation tool. When that storm chaser said, yes, I'm seeing rotation in a wall cloud, I'm seeing a funnel, that little blue area right there, just to the northwest of downtown Searcy, is where the rotation tool was showing that potential. And when we advance that, it's lost some of it.
Okay.
So
well, that's
it
good.
may be
Good news.
weakening somewhat. Now the one to the north, let's see how that one has evolved, because that one is still kind of maintaining itself. There's still some blue there. So I would just watch out as this cell makes its way towards Salado, Batesville, Sulphur Rock. The front is getting pretty close to that area.
I was going to say, it's probably riding along the front.
And when you have a cell that rides along a boundary, you got to watch those very closely, because that can enhance the intensity of the cell and can give them a little adrenaline shot for the most part.
Max 1, and we'll take a look at the other showers that are occurring here in Arkansas with no warnings, but we do have a tornado watch. More counties added till 10 o'clock tonight. And the areas that you see in central Arkansas with cells trying to come together, with the showers trying to come
quite
together.
A bit of lightning.
Yeah, that is the strongest one there, just to the north of Perry County, riding along the Conway-Faulkner County border, and also the tornado warned storm that's in southeast Oklahoma. And now the one up toward Searcy, northern Searcy's picked up a little bit of lightning, so it's beginning to intensify just a bit. All right, thank you for joining us once again. THV 11 Plus this afternoon. Nathan and we're going to be on Plus for a little while, and when the warnings do come to fruition, if they come, well, there's still a chance they may not, but
fingers crossed.
All indications are that all the parameters are there. We'll keep an eye on it for you today, along with the threat of severe weather. Flash flooding is also a concern, and these cells will produce some very heavy rainfall in a short amount of time. Yeah,
I was just looking at what the National Weather Service was coming out, and they were also saying any storm that can latch on to the front, you gotta watch it, because it rides along that front, and it just has enough turning to add to the atmosphere that they can rotate more and also become more intense. But I'm looking at the cloud tops here on Storm Track 11, and we are seeing those cloud tops really develop in a hurry. So, there was no cap in place today.
No cap.
As soon as that warm front made its way through, we got unstable very quickly. We went from the 50s this morning, now we're well into the 70s and 80s. It's very humid, feels very tropical out there. So these storms are starting to bubble up with all the cooking of the atmosphere. And the good news, I guess I would say, is since we don't have a cap, hopefully there'll be more competition with these storms. If we have a whole bunch of storms out there, Tom, the threat of one lone supercell is going to be lower, versus when you have a cap, that prevents a lot of storms from developing in a large coverage area, and you just have one or two storms that go wild.
Okay.
Still, we cannot downplay this whatsoever. We are seeing the potential of supercells trying to develop, and it's going to be just a changing fluid situation over the next few hours, especially right now, all the way until about 8 o'clock, maybe as late as 9 o'clock, is when that window of supercell potential is really highlighted here in Central Arkansas and a large part of the state.
So when you look at radar and you see that appendage start to develop, you've got some rotation there. And this cell is just south of Batesville over at Salado. The one south of it was the one that had the interest of some storm chasers. So as they move to the northeast, either riding along or just ahead of that front, they may exhibit some signs of rotation. Certainly can't rule it out with the atmosphere the way it is. Let me cover the watches once again until 10 o'clock northeast Arkansas, central Arkansas, and southwest Arkansas in effect till 9 o'clock tonight. Northwest Arkansas does not have a watch in place. As far as storm timeline, 1 to 10 o'clock and then 1 o'clock through the nighttime hours. It could be a very long night with storm after storm developing over the central part of Arkansas. And then by tomorrow, everything should shift over into eastern and southeastern Arkansas. We certainly have a very high risk. It's a moderate or a 4 out of 5 for places like Searcy and Batesville. So we know we have the necessary ingredients in motion for these storms to maintain and become severe this afternoon and produce large hail and possibly tornadoes. So that's why Nathan and I are here at THV 11 Plus. Thank you for joining us once again. And no warnings. That's good news, but we are kind of on alert here, making sure.
We're on standby.
Yeah, and we will be for a while here. All right, so there. Storms now beginning to pop up to our east over in Mississippi and Tennessee.
Were they under a risk? I don't think they were.
Won't they be surprised?
Maybe just a marginal risk.
Yeah, let's see. And I'm sure that if they're not, they'll be surprised that there's not a risk there. And it looks like they're under a slight risk.
Yes, they were in the slight risk. Well, looking at what we have here in Arkansas, we've got the jet energy. So that's why the tornado potential is there, because we got the low-level wind jet kicking into gear, and that's expected to stick around over the next several hours. And that's what you need for tornadoes to develop. You need that low-level wind energy to really feed into the shear factor, or when you have winds changing from the surface all the way up to the cloud with direction and speed. So you go from the south-southeast at the surface, and then once you get 5,000 feet above the surface, your winds come in from the southwest or west. So that allows for an invisible tube to develop in the atmosphere. Once you have a storm that develops, that updraft that develops within the storm, we'll take that tube and pretty much bend it. And sometimes you've got two different situations where The one part of the updraft within the cell is going to be a counterclockwise situation, and the other cell is going to be a clockwise situation. And we had that on Wednesday. It didn't last very long.
Yeah.
Usually when you have a clockwise or anti-cyclonic situation, those cells, they don't stick around very long. But it's a splitting supercell.
Was that one that was near Elmira? Is that Arkansas County?
That was the one that made its way through Monroe County,
Monroe
I think.
County.
It didn't last so long at all.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. That's what we have going on. Thank you for hanging out with us. And by the way, and I put down that paper. I think it's over in the other in the green wall where we also do severe weather. Our radio partners, KSSN, if we have tornado warnings in central Arkansas, they'll pick up our signal. And up in north central Arkansas near the Clinton area, we've got a station at Heber Springs. And I tell you what, I'll be right back. I want to give their call letters out in case we have some folks here.
Okay.
I stepped away from it and didn't bring it back with me. KSUG in Heber and KHPQ in Clinton. They say, hey, when you guys go live with severe weather warnings, we're going to simulcast, I think, tornado warnings. So we do have some radio partners that are, if you're near north central Arkansas, I'm looking at things. Most of this action right now that's popping up is in north central Arkansas. It's all non-severe, but it could become severe this afternoon.
Rapidly changing weather. That's what we're going through because we just had a shower here and now the sun's out again. Another shower moves through just because the speed of these showers and storms that are just riding along with that low level jet stream. If we can take our view 11 or the camera from the Simmons Bank building, we're looking off to the west and you can see those clouds have started to tower off into the horizon. So we are seeing those clouds continue to build up just because there's no cap on the atmosphere. If there was a cap on the atmosphere, these clouds would not be able to grow high. You would see them stop for the most part. But just look outside, watch what's happening around you. You'll see those clouds, those storms start to roll their way in. Once again, they're moving from the south to the north or northeast. So the more that you are looking at your radar at home and you see a cell that looks a little suspicious down to the south of you, and we're talking about it, you don't have much time to take your tornado precautions because these cells are moving so quickly.
I'm just keeping an eye on a couple of cells. One over toward Yell County, Danville area, south of Russellville. That seems to be increasing. And those two cells that we were watching just a moment ago in White County and now Independence County, pretty much over Batesville, those two cells, they may come together, but the one that's in Batesville really is taking off and is beginning to grow a lot more. It's getting stronger.
Yeah, fortunately, I think it's running over the front, hopefully. I have not checked out what Batesville is. Let me go over here and see what Batesville is reading at this time. So we've got still, it's in the 60s, it looks like. Unless this didn't update. This is 315. Still 63, Clinton. So the warm, humid air has not really made its way in that direction just yet.
Okay.
Batesville's still about 63. So I'd expect that to be elevated in nature. Still can produce hail, but once the cells get past the front, they get past that inflow of the warm, humid air. Therefore, instead of a tornado threat, it's going to be more of a hail threat, and it can still be big hail.
And keeping a close eye on the ones in southeast Oklahoma, those continue to grow. And there's one polygon there west-southwest of Mena. That tornado warning is in effect till 4 o'clock, and there's another in effect till 4:30. Those storms look like they're going to track into southwest Arkansas, and that could be the first tornado warned storms we have in the state here this afternoon. Those storms are a little more organized, better organized, and I haven't seen anything if there's any confirmation, but radar confirmation is enough. We know that we've got plenty of rotation. So northeast Texas, Arklatex area, and the atmosphere here in Arkansas destabilizing as we speak. Warm front lifting to the north. It is north of Little Rock, and our temperatures jumped up from the 50s into the 70s in a relatively short amount of time, and the dew points went up. It was when I left here last night. It was damp and cool.
Yeah,
didn't feel like tornado weather. It just didn't have that feel. But outside, it kind of does now. It reminds me a lot of March 1 of '97. Just the overall feel. The wind's picking up a little bit, very warm and sticky. And I remember that day. I remember John Robinson. They set up a balloon at noon, and I was taking a final exam over there, and all of a sudden I heard "uh-oh," and then within an hour, we had that supercell thunderstorm that developed close to Arkadelphia.
You look down to southwest. You've got tornado warnings starting to line up. They're moving off to the northeast. This whole line is charging its way to the east, slowly but surely. So I think what we're seeing down here in Oklahoma, northeast Texas, and also will eventually push its way into southwest Arkansas and then build its way into central Arkansas over the next several hours. So we have to watch out for those cells, but also any cells ahead that line
ahead of it.
that could pop up. Right now, Dennis Kavanaugh with the National Weather Service has said there is a little cap that's preventing the updrafts from going crazy. How long does that cap
last?
stick around?
Yeah, how long does it last?
It'll be interesting to see. I don't know if they're going to launch a weather balloon or not pretty soon, but that would give us a better idea on what's happening really above us and how strong this cap is.
Yeah. So that's what's going on now. It's kind of like a hurry up and wait. We're waiting. We anticipate that this afternoon will be fairly busy, but this is why we can jump on here on THV 11 Plus and give you kind of the lowdown of what we're expecting and the timing that we're expecting these storms to arrive. There is a tornado watch. In case you're just joining us, tornado watch is in effect until 9 o'clock for a good part of central, north central, and southwest Arkansas. In northeast Arkansas, they have a watch until 10 o'clock. I'm sure that if anyone in the state is just really worn out with it, it's eastern and northeastern Arkansas. Our risk of severe weather will last through the nighttime hours, 1 to 10 o'clock, northwest Arkansas. And here's where it gets a little bit tricky because our high-res models are indicating that this line as it moves in could stall out for a while, become a very heavy rain threat, flash flooding threat. We still haven't really touched that yet, but the flooding concerns may outweigh the tornado concern by later on tonight.
Yeah, the severe weather threat will shift from tornadoes to more of a serious flash flooding, river flooding event going into tonight, tomorrow. And if it's a river flooding event, that could continue into Sunday and potentially into Monday because it's going to take time for all that water to drain its way into the tributaries of the Arkansas River. I don't think the Arkansas River is going to rise dramatically because the bulk of the rain's pretty much happening here right over central Arkansas, not upstream into Oklahoma. Now, they have issued a new tornado watch that just came out, so
That's
more of the state
southeast Arkansas
is now included in that. And then also Arkansas County and Monroe County have been added, so we're waiting on that to be adjusted because they did say that Arkansas and Monroe County would be until 9 o'clock as well.
That'll fill in here in just a moment.
So,
all right. Here it is, 3:37. We're going to keep it a couple of more minutes. We're still preparing in case we get a chance to do a forecast tonight. That's still being put together. Although we might get to a point here in the next 15, 20, 30 minutes or so where the storms really start to take off. And if that's the case, then again, we will be back on THV 11 Plus. We're going to wait and see how and when they're going to add these counties. And that way we can provide you with information on your county and whether or not you're under a tornado watch. But
let's go over to Storm Track 11.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll do that, and then
because now we're looking at a slew of tornado warnings, and the purple that you see, those are confirmed tornado warnings now for areas in northeast Texas. So Interstate 20, not the best option to drive on. Also Interstate 30, if you're headed towards Texarkana, you really need to watch this very closely. But the trajectory of those cells will take them into southwest Arkansas. And there's a new confirmed tornado warning that is just on the outskirts of Arkansas. So Sevier County, Polk County, watch this very closely. This is for McCurtain County, Oklahoma. That cell is going to be making its way towards the Queen very shortly, probably in the next hour or so. But this is concerning, Tom. We're seeing these tornado warnings, nasty cells develop in northeast Texas, and they are pushing their way closer and closer to southwest Arkansas.
And one thing to note here, these cells are riding along that warm front. They're riding along the boundary. Okay? Like we've said, that occasionally these cells like to develop along boundaries, and that's what's happening there in northeast Texas and southeast Oklahoma. Okay. 3:39, Nathan Scott, Tom Brannon with you. Still waiting for them to fill in the little yellow area for the tornado watch. We can go back to Max 1 just real quick. We do want to take another break in just a moment, but the tornado watch is in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. They've added that through 9 o'clock tonight for eastern Arkansas. Northeastern Arkansas is in effect until 10 o'clock, and I'm just going to confirm that with our little tool here. And let's see, Arkansas County until 9 o'clock and Monroe County until 9 o'clock. We're just waiting for the
it just hasn't filled in.
Yeah, it just hasn't filled in yet. But basically what you're seeing is a good part of Arkansas is under the tornado watch now until 9 or 10 o'clock tonight.
So what can you do right now to prepare for the potential that things could turn ugly? Well, go ahead and just get things situated right now. Because when tornado warning is issued, you're not going to have a lot of time to get your stuff together. So I would advise you to go ahead and get the pets ready, get the crates out if they need a crate. You don't want to be looking around for all that stuff when we're saying there's a tornado warning headed your way and it's going 50 to 60 miles per hour. Make sure the kids have the shoes on. Gather some important papers, your birth certificate, all that, just in case. We're not trying to scare you, but if a tornado happens, all that's going to be scattered about if you're not trying to put it in a more secure area. And you just want to have that time to take those safety precautions for yourself and make sure that you and your family are prepared. So I'd put the pillows, get the pillows in your safe place at this time. If you have time and the strength, get the mattress in that direction as well, because whatever you can use as a defense against flying debris, that is going to be one of the best cases to choose. And into your hallway, into your closet, into your bathroom, those are going to be the safest places if you don't have a storm shelter or, of course, a basement. We don't have basements here in Arkansas.
Well, I'll tell you this. Here at THV 11, we've got a number of folks that didn't want to leave their pets at home. So we have dogs and cats here at the TV station in case we have to shelter in place. And I think it's...
Should I bring her out?
Go get her. I think No, sure. Go get her real quick.
Okay.
I think it's a great testament. Nathan's wife works. He works. He decided to pack up his kitty cat Sierra and bring her with him. We've got some other folks here in the THV 11 newsroom that have brought their pets as well. He went up the hallway to get Sierra. Sierra's just a friendly little cat. So remember your pets. Remember to save a little time to get them gathered up into the closet or your safe spot as well. And as soon as he brings Sierra out, we'll take a break from THV 11 Plus. And hopefully we won't, fingers crossed that these warnings don't materialize, but keeping a close eye on what's happening out in Oklahoma and Northeast Texas. Certainly, tornado warnings and confirmed warnings. And here I'll move over and you can bring her in. Here she is. Was she asleep?
She's very comfortable back there.
Yeah.
But because when the tornado hit Little Rock, it was only about a mile away. Mm-hmm. And I had her in the bathroom because I knew it was going to be a bad day. But still, your mind plays games with you. When I saw that hook echo getting pretty close to my neighborhood, it was scary.
Oh, sure.
And the first thing I was thinking about was her.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want her to be injured or anything like that nature. So today I was like, I'm just going to bring her in because I knew how serious a situation it could turn out to be.
Was Mary at home at that time?
No, she's at work.
Okay.
At that time, too.
So remember your pets.
So
I remember them as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet
so
cat.
Don't forget
Sweet
the pets.
Kitty cat.
Everybody loves her here. They're like, oh, you brought Sierra in. They've never met her, so. But
we'd heard a lot about her. Lots of pictures about her as well.
Found her underneath the overpass in Tennessee just one night.
How about that?
As a kitten.
And her life has changed for the better.
Oh, yeah. She's a spoiled princess.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just real quick, I want to show you the Arkansas Monroe County area here. They have been added to that tornado watch until 9 o'clock tonight. We're under a moderate threat of severe weather for the day today. Take your tornado precautions seriously. We will break in on THV 11 in and with, when and if. Wow, when and if we get those warnings, I anticipate that we're going to get warnings today for large hail, damaging wind, and tornadoes. So while he's doing that, it's 3:45. We just wanted to give a heads up to those folks in White County. It looked like there was something developing there. Radar is getting a little more active. So from here right now, THV 11 Plus, we're going to take a break. We're going to compile our forecast information together, and we will be back whenever we have more warnings to pass along. Any closing thoughts?
She's not happy with me.
Oh, because you locked her in a closet. I wouldn't be happy either. All right. Well, all right, have a great afternoon, folks. Nathan and I will be here for you. We'll be right back.